Hi, it's Coral. I just learned that a bunch of my previous footage I was just focused on my face. I have no clue how I'm gonna fix that. Kind of panicking right now. But let's do a couple Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe endings while I think about it. Specifically just the museum endings in both with and without the bucket. God, I feel like such an idiot. What? Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Well, that's lovers, so friends is just like there. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the two made-up words is most appealing to you? Occuboinkle or Scrumtush? I'm leaning towards Occuboinkle, but Scrumtush is pretty great. Please don't adjust the slider. Do you know what time it is right now? I don't. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Probably. What time is it anyway? Yes, it is. Yes? Help. Okay. Will you go back? Yes? Okay. What are the new settings? Oh, I guess that's just... Oh, gotcha, that's what those were. Okay. Let's do this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a
the other thing is,
Stanley walked upstairs.
I looked at the hints and I figured out where this one is.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
I'm savoring
This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Awesome. I'm glad I did that. But yeah, I said the stairs, and I was like, I didn't see them on the stairs, but also I didn't go down, so that's where it is.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Awesome.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
You can see my control facility through
This
the bars there.
question would
That's
not
cool.
go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Let's do this.
The door behind him was not shut.
I know.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
So much more atmospheric in this version.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I wonder if it'll still be the museum.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Whoa, this whole thing
he
got
reflected
revamped.
that his life had been of
It
no
looks so much
consequence
better.
whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Here we go.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly.
Yeah, they
into
thought a
the
total
enormous
remaster. The box
metal
is smaller.
doors. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
This might be quick,
making
because I've
life
seen
the
most of the
same.
stuff here.
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
These are new credits. They're a lot bigger, I think. The impeccable Kevin Brighting as the narrator.
For all his button pushing, does that sound plausible to you? Stanley stood on the roof. Now then, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be.
That's a cool place. There's probably tons of dialogue there, but out of context, it's not valuable, really. I'm not going to check all of it, but I feel like it would let me know if it wasn't exactly the same, so...
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Awesome. Whoa. Took a bit to load that time. What the heck?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay, we're doing this, I guess. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Okay. Gotcha, there's that new area. Okay.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
What? What?
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
I think I got the boss's office one first.
Hey, that's exactly
Nice.
right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Oh, gotcha. This just opens up.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Beautiful.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
The memory zone has whole new meaning because I lost all that footage. This is beautiful. I love how deliciously low quality it is.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
These go to the same place, of course.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here, under the stairs. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
This is beautiful.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay,
I wasn't expecting to do this.
That spot under the stairs, I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video. Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
No, I don't get to. I never collected the warehouse one, apparently. What was that sound? Was that the sound of it opening, potentially? Nope. Sad.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this? Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then, somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with.
This is really fascinating.
Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.